Hey guys, what's going on? Brandon, I've just been working today. Happy Sunday. Nice day outside. Got my dirty long sleeve t-shirt on because I've been working hard doing some stuff. Figured I'd make a video real quick. So I'm going to put the link to the original video I made about Harlan and GM. I made a few of them, but there was a really good one I put together. I'm going to put that back in the comments, the link to it. But I'm going to kind of go down that road here. I basically... Okay, so long story short, let's just jump into it. Justin is given the hints that his inside guys are saying that there's going to be a zr1 family of cars. And so in my opinion, if GM does that and there's a zr1 family of cars, that was what the Grand Sport family of cars was going to be. And again, I've explained in my previous videos, but just go back and watch those videos. I think that Harlan named the E-Ray the E-Ray. He says he did. When Harlan got let go from General Motors, the thing that he wanted to talk about, the thing that he was pissed off about and wanted to talk about, when you read between the lines, is he wanted to talk about how many cars he'd named. So it's my belief that one of the disagreements within GM why he was let go was because of what he wanted to name one of the cars. And it's my belief that he, and I have on pretty good knowledge, he wanted to call these cars like the 1064 SS Grand Sport, and then there was going to be the basic Grand Sport, and he was going to do all these things. So when I predicted that the car was going to be a Grand Sport, that wasn't the real problem. The problem was people like Andrew Zurich, Darren Walters, Cohen Iugen, just all these, Robert Key, all these disrespectful psychopaths. I mean, they are fucking psychopaths. I have all the documentation about how nasty these guys got about the idea of the Grand Sport being a surprise, when technically the C6 Grand Sport was a surprise, the C7 Grand Sport was a surprise. It's not a uncommon thing for the Grand Sport to be a surprise, guys. The C2 Grand Sport was a secret, okay? That's why the Grand Sport's always a surprise. GM always likes to relive, for people who are new to Corvette, it teaches them a little bit about the history and everything. And so GM was going all out this time around, which is why the carbon fiber wheels look like the C7 Grand Sport wheels. It was going to be called the Grand Sport. What they did was they were playing a game where they were keeping it secret from people inside GM, the same way that they kept the mid-engine Stingray price secret from everybody inside GM. Taj and Harlan admit that the people inside GM didn't know. So basically, you kind of have like the trio of top dogs inside Team Corvette. It was Taj, Kurt Benyon, and Harlan Charles. Those were like the three top guys who would always like kind of circulate the ideas. Maybe there were more, but those were definitely three of them, right? So Taj is retired, so all you have left is Harlan and Kurt Benyon. And at that point, so Harlan would be the one to carry this torch forward of, we're doing a surprise. And so you had all these people like Wendy Miller and just whoever who's associated with GM and their dealers and so on and so forth, who all started giving me a hard time. All these big YouTube channels giving me a hard time, saying there is no Grand Sport, there is no Grand Sport. And if all of a sudden Harlan started to explain to everybody, well, there is a Grand Sport, and that is not going to be called the ZR1, and that is going to be this, and that is going to be that, everybody would lose their fucking minds. They would say, you're making Brandon right, and we already made asses out of ourselves, and now we're going to look really stupid. So is it my fault that I predicted the Grand Sport? No, it's the way that these people reacted. It's the way that the Clayton Smiths, the Andrew Zurichs, the Cohen Iugens, all these people reacted and had to form a big squad, a big tribe. Everybody hate Brandon. He's an idiot. Write it on the walls. Look how crazy this guy is. Everybody says you're an idiot. Everybody da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They've created this team of everybody versus Brandon. And while I have a few people on my team, they gathered the sheeple, the people who don't know what's going on, who are like, oh, Andrew at CSP? Oh, Cohen Iugen? Oh, Clayton Smith? Oh, Justin at Horsepower Obsessed? Oh, these guys must all be right and Brandon must be wrong. I'm going to tell Brandon he's wrong too. Because, and you see, you create this big snowball effect. So anybody who understands anything about psychology and good marketing knows that now all of a sudden you've got a bad situation for General Motors. If all of a sudden they go, ta-da, the Grand Sport, everybody's like, you made us wrong with Brandon, and some of us have bets with him, and why'd you do this to us, General Motors? So General Motors knew that these other people, these Cohen Iugens who attack me behind my back once I'm banned from a group, who want to mock me as the idiot when my message is very clear, guys. There's a surprise Grand Sport coming, and the 1064 SS car, the 1064 turbocharged car, was a test bed for a lot of different things to come. Whether they produce that car and call it the ZR1, which they might, because guess what? They fired Harlan. So I think that that's what they said. I think that this is part of the thing that they put their foot down about with Harlan, is they said, this car is going to be the ZR1 because we can't go back on it. And that's that. And Harlan's probably sitting there like, guys, we were planning on mass producing these fenders and these hood scoops and these fender vents. We were planning on mass producing these things for tens of thousands of cars. This was going to be the Grand Sport. The ZR1's going to have a better body yet. We're putting this awesome body on the LT2 based engine Grand Sport. That's the secret. That's the surprise. It's going to sell like hotcakes. It's going to reignite Corvette sales. And I think that the executives inside GM who are like, Deb Lowe's married to people within GM, if I'm not mistaken. And you got people like Wendy Miller, all these different people. I think all these people realized they're going to look stupid. So they all formed a coup against Harlan and said, no, we're not doing that. We're doing this. This makes more sense. What you're saying doesn't make any sense, Harlan. We already explained to Brandon why it's stupid. Well, it's not stupid. You guys were all stupid. And I was just explaining the surprise and why GM was doing it. But you guys are all stupid. But neither here nor there. So how do I feel like this is all going to end up? Could GM still pull off the surprise? Sure, they could. Could Harlan come back and they go ahead and do the surprise? Sure. Could they go ahead and do the surprise and keep Harlan out? Yeah, but I kind of doubt that, because it's like, how would you justify keeping Harlan out if you go ahead and do a surprise? That doesn't make any sense. Or does it have, or do they continue forward with the ZR1, and does Harlan come back if they continue forward with this, calling this car the ZR1 and the lower car the ZR1? So Justin at Horsepower Obsessed, I mentioned this in the very beginning, he's saying that the Grand Sport is going to fall under the ZR1 family this time. So instead of there being the Grand Sport family, which is what the original thing was all about, they're going to do, this is the ZR1 family, and this is the baby ZR1, the LT2 based ZR1. It's like, okay, we all know that was supposed to be called the Grand Sport. So all that GM can do right now is delay, delay, delay. And another thing that's part of the delays is has to do with the stock market. The billionaires of the world are trying to create a super squeeze in the stock market, in my opinion, and they're trying to get the masses to bet against stocks. Every fucking YouTube channel is like, the world's ending, stocks are falling, General Motors going out of business, this, every stock, this is going to go down, this is going to go down, this is going to go down. Here's what's happening, in my opinion. Bond market's going to crash, okay? Interest rates are going to continue to go up because Bitcoin's going to continue to fly, and Bitcoin and the dollar are inverse of each other right now. So Bitcoin's just going to keep flying. Rates are going to have to go up to try to stop inflation. And there's going to be a super squeeze of the S&P 500 because there's so many people bet against it. There's so many people shorted against it who are upside down right now, who are going to get margin called if things continue to go up, okay? So once you understand that, all the way that the billionaires of the world are going to do this super squeeze is they've got to have all this surprise good news come out at once. So they've been waiting and waiting and waiting for the right time when enough masses are bet against the market, and they keep doing these more negative and negative events. Trump doing these tariffs, in my opinion, you all think that he's like the man and this is all his idea. He's taking orders, guys. Trump is a puppet now. He's not what he used to be. The reason why they're canceling pennies is because pennies will be worth more than 1 cent of the metal that they're made of. You'll be able to melt them down, which means you'll be able to walk into any bank and say, give me $1 in pennies, and then you take it and melt it down, and now you get $5 worth of metal, okay? So they have to cancel that because it's like a free metal machine from the United States government, a free metal charity. That's why they have to cancel the pennies, because there's about to be super inflation. Okay, so if a person was smart, they'd go get $1 billion in pennies and they'd be good to go. You know what I mean? But they're canceling that because they know what's about to happen. So they're waiting for the right time to make this announcement, and GM is sitting there like, guys, we got to release this Grand Sport. We need to make money. But the billionaires are like, no, you work for us. You're going to do what we tell you to do. Okay, BlackRock and so on and so forth. So what's his face? Mark Royce is sitting there in a bind, and Mary Bear is sitting there in a bind where it's like, okay, well then we'll just lose money and not create Grand Sports just yet. Oh, this works out good because we get to make Brandon a liar. But rest assured, the car's ready. All the parts to make the Grand Sport are ready. It's an easy car to make. We've already seen it in emission testing, okay? With the base body on it, not the more extreme body. So if they just put the base body back on it, it's not going to be that hot of a seller. And see, even Conti knows that the original plan was to put the better body on, because Conti's leaving you guys little clues. He's saying in his recent video, he said, now I know you guys can't afford a ZR1, but hypothetically, let's say you could afford a ZR1. Which rear thing would you get in the back? Would you get the convertible, or would you get the coupe with the vents in the back with the split window? Which one would you get? That's because Conti knows, just like I know, that is a feature that's going to be on the Grand Sport. The whole body that you're seeing on the current ZR1 was supposed to be the Grand Sport body. And that was that car, the quote-unquote 1064 car was part of the Grand Sport family. There was going to be the 1064 SS, and there was going to be the LT2 or the LT2 replacement base Grand Sport, and they were both going to share the same body. All right? The ZR1 was going to be something different. Anyway, there's no window sticker yet to the car that got delivered to Hendrick. It just says, it has ZR1 badges though, so that's promising. So it looks like Andrew Zurich and these guys might end up winning the bet because GM ended up going their way. That's fine. But you have to understand something. They don't even have the fucking window stickers ready yet, guys. They're having to change so much shit. They probably don't have enough plaques to put on the fucking motors that say ZR1. There's probably all kinds of little things that they've got to get to finish these cars. And there's like, well, we got at least one, so we'll go ahead and ship that one to Hendrick. But you're not allowed to sell it to yourself yet, Rick. You got to keep it in dealer inventory. You're not allowed to officially sell it to yourself yet because the other cars aren't ready yet. So understand something. That's a production car, but he's not allowed to officially put tags on it or complete it, even though he puts them all like basically in a garage, in a museum, in a safe, basically, in a vault. But understand something. You know, hopefully you guys can start to understand what I'm saying. Like, this is all... And so, again, Benyon, he quit. When Harlan got let go, Benyon's like, I'm out then. No big deal. This is getting stupid. Because the people inside GM that still work there, they are stupid. The Wendy Millers are stupid. The people who told Harlan that this idea didn't work, they're stupid. The idea was going to work. The problem where they fucked up was they didn't say that this is a 2027 ZR1 or a 2026 ZR1. They said it was a 2025 ZR1. That's where they fucked up. Let it be a surprise when it's the 1064 SS Grand Sport and it's a year early. That's where they fucked up. That was the only place that they fucked up. See ya.